Hello, hello.
James, what's up, my boy?
What up, David? Hey, I want to go ahead and welcome David to a brand new episode of You Have a Collect Call From, and we're coming to you live and direct from New Jersey.
Hey, what's up? Hey, you gonna take me to the Jersey Shore?
Nah, not today, not today. But
Ah, man.
but I am going to show you the New York skyline, if you will.
Um, so I guess I'm not gonna be able to use the name Dave the Situation.
Nah, it's gonna be
That's not gonna.
that's gonna be a negative. But
Oh man.
hey, I am gonna be able to share this with the audience right here, man. I got the female little comb for the brocha, so I could comb up the brocha from now on.
Hey, if you're gonna be talking to us, James, we're gonna have to get you a palm comb.
A pump comb?
Yeah, we gotta get you a palm comb.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
send one in. I'm gonna send you one in the mail, man. So it's official. Hey, you gotta see your painting. Hey,
Oh,
hey, you can't just go looking at. You can't go looking in cars around there.
hey, let's trade. You jump in the front with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, so you're talking about the painting?
Hey, the painting's
Yeah, yeah.
bad.
So
I gotta
so
get that painting sent to you.
all right. Hey, we're gonna take you on the road right now. We're gonna be Oh, this is my daughter right here.
Hey,
It's David, Mama.
how are you doing? How are you doing? Nice to see you. Hi.
He said nice to see you. He said hola. See.
Hola. Hola. Hey, you gotta teach her English.
What did you say?
You gotta teach her English.
Oh, she does speak English. Yeah, she only responds
Okay.
to me in English.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. James, what's up?
David.
Hey, I got the kiosk, so that'll work.
Yeah, it's coming in all nice and clean right now. Hey, so right now we're on the road. We're gonna go on a road trip, if you will.
I see you. There you are. You're good. You're good. Okay. So what's up? What's up, James?
Hey, so right now we're in New Jersey. We're actually on the road. So we're gonna be taking you on the road right now. We're gonna be hitting the turnpike. The turnpike would be
I think.
what they call freeways out here.
What is the turnpike?
A turnpike is what they call. I would say is the equivalent of a freeway. What we know as a freeway.
So why don't you just call it the freeway? Hey, what is a? Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So New Jersey calls their freeway a turnpike.
I think that they do that on the East Coast because I know in Miami they also call it the turnpike also.
What the hell? Anything? Is there a freeway out there?
They don't call them like yeah no like I've never heard anybody refer to them as freeways. So I think that's a term that we're used to out there. Where we're from. But I think maybe another reason
Oh wow.
they call it the turnpike also is because normally you have to pay to board. So in order for you to go, they normally charge you.
Hey, that's pretty crazy. Hey, so what do they call here? They're called toll roads. That's what
Yeah,
we call them over here, huh?
the toll roads. Yeah, or
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, or carpool.
Fast track.
Yeah,
What
they
is
got
a fast track? Is that that's what it is over here, huh? Is
the fast pass. Yeah,
that
so
what you
like
call it? Fast pass. Yeah.
they got the fast pass out here too. So in order for you to jump on the roads or whatever, you gotta prepay your account and have like this device that'll deduct the funds whenever you're on one of these turnpikes. Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah.
That all makes sense. See, this is what it is. You got to get us ready for the real world. Like you got to take us around. You got to tell us what is, man. We don't know nothing. I'm serious. Like I went to I I've been to Vegas before. I've been to Vegas and I've been to Tucson, Arizona, and I spent some time in Mexicali and TJ. Oh, I went to Rosarito a few times. That's it. That's the extent of my travels.
And my lady said there's no toll roads right there to any of the places you've been to.
No, I read about it. I read about it in a book. no, no, into trip on this. So I know about the toll roads because of Mexicali.
Uh,
Hey, Mexicali, there's a toll road. I took a toll road from Mexicali to TJ, and it was some back roads, but it was nice. But that's the first time I actually been on a toll road.
And now that you mentioned that, you know what? In Cancun, I think in Cancun and also in Mexico City, I've also experienced some of those toll roads. They're private roads that you have to pay to get on, and I guess they're
Yeah,
privately funded, so they're not public roads.
yeah, they're nice though. Like, it was a nice road, but it's kind of like the one I was on was kind of like in the back roads, like it was a back road, but it was a real nice setup. But I kept thinking, damn, this is if I was a bandit, this is where I'd be stashed. You know what I'm saying? That's what was kind of making me eerie. I'm like, you hear all them stories about them bandits.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what? Right now that Mexico. I remember the other day
Yeah.
when we were on a visit, or when we were talking last week, and Leisman had asked about you and your experience in Mexico. That one time that you got caught up trying to cross over.
Hey, no, I got caught up with firearms in Mexico. That's what I got. That's what I got arrested for. And interrogation process, they found out that me and my boy brought the guns into Mexico from the U.S. So that's why we had a federal case.
Did you take them with the intention of leaving them there, or you were gonna just go down there and then bring them back with you?
Absolutely. Hey, I was gonna bring them down there and bring them back. I was gonna cross two international lines with those. Um, no, the thing is, James. Look, when you're in that lifestyle, those types of things they don't. Those are just things that you have to be careful about. But there were so many things that I was involved in at that time where I looked at it like, well, that's just the price of doing business. You get caught up, you get caught up. But it's all fun and games till you actually do get caught up and you find yourself in a Mexican prison.
And you know what? And you said something right now, that you said that that's the cost of business. But in our reality, I mean, you're not the only one that paid to play. Because at the end of the day, I remember you mentioning that your mom came to save you. She bailed you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you don't think about those things in that lifestyle. Like when I go down there, right? Okay, so I go down there. I know that I'm gonna go there because I'm up to something, right? Um, this wasn't a recreational state for me. This was something that I had intentions on doing something illegal. So I go down there and I'm thinking, well, if I'm over here in this environment, then obviously I gotta have something on me. I'm not gonna buy anything in Mexico because I don't know who's who. So I need to bring something reliable. So I go down there and that's what I got. So I'm not. So that was the problem. That's the biggest problem with criminals, drug everything we do is with selfish intention. If you bring people up along the way, you're you're bringing them up where you're like, all right, I want the boy to get on, but it's also like, okay, well, how can me bringing this person into the fold better my position in the fold? It's still a selfish intention. So when I'm down there getting caught up, I looked at it like, well, I'm just doing my time. The only reason why they even got a hold of my mom was because I'm a U.S. citizen. So the consulate they asked me for next of kin. When the U.S. consulate came to me when I was incarcerated, they asked me for next of kin. So I give them my next of kin. I give them my mom's name. I give them her number, and that was that. They never told me what they were going to do with that. I just was notifying them of my relationship in the United States. With my loved ones, just in case something happened to me in Mexico. Well, they went above and beyond, and they contacted my mom and brought her down there. I was not upset with that. I'm gonna tell you right now, when hey, I was right there. I was right there, like going through it, James. Like I looked like a refugee, man. I was rough looking, you know. And I was in that holding cell. And when I looked up and I saw my mom, I was like, "Mama, save your boy," you know. Like honestly, like she was like an angel coming out of the darkness, you know. That's mom right there. So, when I seen her, I was like, man, I need a. That's the last person that I thought I would see walk into that room, and that was it. Man, I was super happy. So I'm gonna bring this back though to what I was saying before. I never thought about my mom having to get that call. Hey, your son's arrested. He's not in the United States. He's arrested in Mexico. He's fighting a federal case, and he's looking at doing some time down there. What do you do if you're a mother and you're getting a call like that? You know, my dumbass never thought about that. My dumbass was like, I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna handle my business. If fools get out of line, you know what time it is. You know, that's just what it is. That's my thought process. I'm not thinking about anybody down there. I'm not thinking about their families, and I was sure as hell was thinking about
It was just the freaking just put the button like the pictures in one. It's just a little.
All right.
that
So
was
the,
it. And that's what what happened. You cut off.
a little bit, yeah. So let me ask you something. When you
Yeah.
were out doing those things, were you in your five senses, or did you have anything that altered your train of thought?
Oh, you know what I was on? I was on that shit, man. Yeah, I was on that white, that go fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I lived on that. That was my normal. I had been on that shit for so long that my normal was that. That's who I was. I wasn't, I was just some tweaker that was after status and reputation. That's what it was. At the end of the day though, you strip away everything, right? You strip away all them fancy clothes, you strip away that fast money, you strip away all those things, right? At the end of the day, I was a drug addict that was chasing his fix. That's it. Everything that went along the way, everything that went along with that was because I was an ambitious drug addict, but I was still a drug addict.
Man.
And that's it's an embarrassing how low I got.
Hey, my wife got a question for you. She said, how was it that you were able to get over drugs?
A lot of willpower. I'm gonna tell you right now. A lot of shame, a lot of guilt. That's what got me. That's what got me there. I spiritual principles, a connection to God, an aha moment. There's a lot of things for someone like me as deeply involved as I was in that lifestyle. There had to be a number of things that I was lucky enough to come into my life at the same time. For one, that's when my wife came back in my life. My wife came back in my life, and I was embarrassed for her to see me because I had lost her out there. I had lost her while I was out there in society because of the decisions I was making. She wasn't in that lifestyle, and she sure as hell wasn't gonna put herself through the shit I was putting myself through. So when she came back into my life, I respected her, and I didn't want her to see me like that. I happened to be sober because I had got a dirty drug test. I came out positive for use of I don't know if we could say that word, but I was on that stuff again, the same stuff that go fast, and I got a dirty drug test because they used to randomly test at that time. So I didn't have no visits, so I had to explain to this woman, to this girl that I respected, okay, well, you can't come see me for another 4 months because I don't have visits. She's like, well, why don't you have visits? Well, I don't have visits because I got a dirty. What do you mean you got a dirty? What'd you get a dirty for? And I told her what I had got found positive of using, and she's like, well, what do you mean? You lost your whole life to this stuff, and you're still in there doing it? And that question, it just hit me, man. Like it hit me, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, because I wasn't planning on staying sober. She asked me, she goes, well, how long you been clean? And I was like, well, I've been clean for a little bit. I think at that time, like a month or 2 months or something like that. She's like, oh, well, how did you get clean that time? I says, well, I'm on mandatory drug test. So if I get another dirty, not only that, I'm going to go back on C status, but I'm going to lose my visits for a year. And you lose them for 6 months the first time. So I had to explain to her, well, I'm only clean right now, but in my head, that's what I was thinking. I'm only clean right now until I figure out a way around these mandatory tests, or I'm just gonna wait it out and then I'm gonna go back to doing what I do. So she made a deal with me. She's like, look, I'm gonna be there for you, but I need you to do your best to stay clean because I can't have us repeating the same mistakes as last time. And I did. It wasn't easy though. So that was the one thing, right? So that came back, right? That came into my life. That's only one instance. Then they changed. They said they were going to give family visits back to lifers.
Hey, is that Felipe laughing in the background?
No, no, no. That's somebody else. Hey, I don't. Hey, I don't know where Felipe is. Honestly, I haven't seen him out here. I think he went in. Nah,
Okay.
this is another homie right here on
Oh,
this video call.
all right.
Yeah, so yeah, so when they gave family visits back to lifers, I had to stay clean for a year because I was on close custody. So I couldn't get a 115 for a year. I kept messing that up, man. I kept messing that up because I kept fighting a lot. So any 115s, I had to stay clean. So I had to ask myself, well, why am I fighting so much? Obviously I wasn't in my right mind because of things that I had going on in the past. I had like when I was still on one, I still had a lot of things going on the yard. So I had to finish up all those things. And in prison, if you want to get paid, you gotta handle your business from time to time. So yeah, it was a lot of things, man. It's a kind of a long story for 34 seconds. It's gonna cut off right now.
Do you have any more time
Yeah,
yeah? Okay, if
I
you
call back.
want, if you
I'm
want,
gonna call back right now.
and then we could do part
Yep,
two of how David changed his life and got off that stuff, and while we're stuck in traffic. So my lady's ready to hear, and I'll put it out. Right now when he calls back, or I'll turn it around right now so you can see it. I'm
I
gonna
got
show
you.
you. I'm gonna show you the turnpike.
Hey, tell her to wake up. I seen someone asleep right there.
He just played. Hey, all right then. Hey,
Yep,
David, like I said right here, life's like a candy. Oh,
like a
life like a
candle.
candy.